Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our next panel discussion, Rethinking the Customer Value Proposition. I welcome our 5 panelists. Isabel Hadri, Chief Marketing Officer for Ooredoo Algeria. Hussam Bade, Marketing Director, Airtel Zambia. Claire Papaneo, Deputy Chief Officer for Mauritius Telecoms and Orange Mauritius. Daniel Kyama, Group Head, Customer Experience for GSM and Financial Services, Airtel Africa in Kenya. And Richard Osborne, Group VP Commercial, Virgin Mobile, Middle East and Africa. Over to our speakers.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here today and to discuss that interesting topic of reinventing the customer value proposition. It's not a scoop. We are living in unprecedented times. We were all caught by surprise by the pandemic, the multiple waves, successive waves, and the economic downturn. And we all had to adapt. We had to change the way we work. We had to change the way we are serving our customers. We have to reinvent ourselves, actually. So let's discuss how we all had our thinkings toward customer value proposition. Hussam, what are the specific changes you have observed in customer expectations? And how have you turned them into opportunities in your market?
Thanks, Isabel. This is a very interesting question. As we know that COVID-19 continues to be a major disruptor in the life of people and the economic activities overall. And post-academic customer need, it's very apparent that customers need more telecom and financial services to be served at their homes. Also, we observe that the pandemic has increased the demand of data service as users, either employees or students, started working from home, studying from home, which creates the need to be connected using different online platforms. Post the pandemic, also customers need more entertainment services like TV streaming, online gaming, besides the need for sure of shopping online and home delivery, which makes the e-commerce as a critical service post the pandemic. I can say we see a change in customer expectation. Today's customers are more connected, more informed, more empowered, more demanding, and looking for value. So keeping them loyal is no longer by focusing on earning and redeeming. So it is an active customer engagement, mutual conversation that could create a kind of interaction through the whole customer journey. And also I can note that customers nowadays expect more proposition that listen more than talk. So customers expect also their experience with the businesses need to be fully integrated and seamless across the touch point and comes with a consistent communication across the different channels. So customer expectation nowadays is a translation to customer experience, as the customer experience is becoming the brand differentiator. So your second, how we respond to this and how this turn to opportunities, I can say that as a response to this customer expectation and change of demand dynamics in a way, there is a shift in the way business are operating, what's very clear. MNOs, definitely Airtel part of them, they are focusing more on digitizing their operating models and touch point through accelerating their digital distribution to make customer get airtime or float without a need to visit an agent. Also, there is a very clear opportunity on focusing on the eSIM solution, and definitely more banks pull and push to serve the customer financially. So also companies, I can say that, also focus on their self-care apps that also help in the digitalization direction and having a kind of one-stop shop for all the services. So also I need to mention the focus that businesses put on the data analytics platforms, such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, to understand the customer more and more and to have a kind of in-depth information to be able to deliver a kind of personalized experience across the entire customer journey and drive a kind of personalization and higher engagement. Also, as a result of higher data demand that the customers are seeking for, telecom operators have been pushed to accelerate the expansion, for example, fiber to home, fiber to business, besides also focusing on the customer experience elements, specifically in terms of convenience, ease of use, transparency, and even simplicity. So MNOs also shift away that into more vertical services through partnership with the healthcare sector, NGOs, and online education provider. And to meet this demand of the entertainment, also there is a focus on or starting providing digital content with partnership with content providers in a way or another.
Thank you, Hussam, for that very comprehensive answer. Actually, I think we would all agree that it is happening in all our markets. Claire, do you have a different view, or how do you see that evolving? Will it be permanent?
Maybe I would say that what we are experiencing is not a shift in customer expectation. It's not a major change. It's more an acceleration of what they are expecting, meaning that I would say that with the COVID, what they have done is that because of, as Hassan explained, because of the work from home, of the e-education for students, because of the ways of buying and delivering and that type of things, all the changes, they are in fact increasing their request for availability of services, even during lockdown and type of things. They ask for proactive information. More and more, they are looking for this proaction, at least from the telecom operators. They ask for easiness, for simplicity, but they also ask for security in business because they had to face some major challenges during this period, and security was crucial. And for that, they all want digital as the answer. I don't know if DAAA is a new
good one, yeah,
word to use, but it's digital as an answer. And it's about, for us, it was about obviously some internal changes. For example, we are now able to provide the fiber to the home services, meaning the broadband, on the same day as the request arrives, which is quite a shift in the way we are working. And we've also increased our capabilities in remote action, for example, with Trouble Unified, the Unified Troubleshooter, sorry, that helps any frontliner just to solve a number of issues for the customer. And this is just like, wow, the wow effect for the customer. But it's also about increasing the speed. Now, the offer they need for broadband are not the same as the ones before the COVID, simply because their usage were just like this. And it's the same for the mobile internet. What they want is very affordable package. Monthly, weekly, daily, whatever it is, but they need a very affordable, and that's why we've launched recently a number of those offers simply to answer their needs, because we know they want that. So I think that we have a lot of opportunities, but it's also about some internal efficiency, leading to the ability then to offer these new ways of working, new ways of entertaining, just like Hussam said.
So we have to be more cost efficient in order to offer affordable value proposition for the customer, with increasing needs. Digital as an answer, that's a very good very good way to say it, and a good transition to Richard, who was actually already fully digital before the pandemic. So how actually did you use your full digital proposition? Was actually you won a couple of prizes in GCC. How did that help you during the pandemic, and how did you stand out?
Yeah, so thanks. I love the DAAA. I've taken a note, but I know that Claire has got it trademarked already.
Oh, yeah.
So look,
I can share.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. Thanks. So look, we started our digital journey, well in advance of COVID. Just to set a very quick background, we cover Middle East Africa, but our core focus has been the GCC. So we're present in Saudi and Oman. We're launching in Kuwait, and we're also in the UAE. When we did our UAE launch, we wanted to do it to create that kind of wow effect in the market. And we relied very heavily on our brand purpose, which is all about, we stand for making mobile better. So we really set out, or the team really set out, to find out all the challenges of being what we call a traditional customer, all that traditional bricks and mortar engagement, and worked out what are really the pain points and what are the wrongs that we have to try to right. And interestingly, with us, it always starts with the people. When you looked at the team setting up the UAE business, they were by no means all telco guys. We understood that to do it differently and to go digital and to do it better than is being done and delivered today as an experience, we need to take the digital expertise that we don't really have, or is not so prevalent in the market. So it's a bit of a risk take in a way, but calculated, and obviously there were people who understand the traditional telco business at the same time. What we set out to do and what we delivered was a fully 360-degree digitized brand experience. So this starts really across activation. You mentioned eSIM before. So, with ourselves, whether it's Saudi or in UAE, you can self-activate with an eSIM. If you don't have an eSIM device, we can send a SIM to you via, a 1-hour delivery service, our own kind of branded delivery guys. The KYC, which is quite heavy in this area, we integrate into the national databases. So again, you can do it, through an OTP in Saudi. And we're launching video verification as well in the UAE. So everything can be more or less completely humanless to become a customer. And then to manage your in-life experience, again, very much fully automated, everything is via the app. So whether it's choosing your price plans, changing them for the next month, even changing them at mid-month, pausing your plan, all feasible within the app. Extending into payment, obviously, we're lucky we have high penetration of credit and debit cards over here. So we can push that heavily through the app, and it avoids all that horrible queuing and leaving the house in this hot weather out here and trying to work out how do I get connected again, which is a real pain. And then we extend it into the self-care. We have a chat app. We'll have into AI to make that more efficient and an easier experience for customers. And then, we look at it from, so that's just our core basic kind of mobile experience. What do we take today? How do we digitize it and make it better? And then on top of that, we look at the digital lifestyle as well. So how do we get customers to engage on the content side? Just as, you were saying before, Hassam, as well, people want more content now. Entertainment, so whether it's gaming, Netflix or whatever, enabling that via the app is number one, a better experience for customers, and number two, the more contents you have, the more services that rely on your interface, your app with your credit card, the stickier we all know that it's going to be. So that is how we approached it, and that's why, fundamentally, because it was a bit of a step forward from a traditional self-care app to being a fully digitized experience, that was the trigger for us to get some good reputation in the area, in the region over here. What I would say is that through all this, it generates a lot of questions, such as how digital do we have to be? If you have a digital solution, are we going to oblige every customer to pay with a credit card every time? Are we going to oblige them, to use the app for every interaction? And I think that when you go forward, that's one of the key kind of questions you have to ask, because that directly impacts your segmentation strategy. You know, if I go purely digital, you know, who's going to be able to do that? Who has the ability to lead a fully digitized life, smartphone, credit card, debit card, etc., versus using digital as an enabler, as an alternative channel to kind of drive those costs of customer management. So those are some of the key challenges we went through. In the UAE, we have it purely 100% digital. We're quite rigid with that, and customers have responded very well.
Very good. And then the next question would be, and a good transition as well, financial services. Daniel, can you talk a little bit about your experience in that regard? I mean, have you noticed an explosion of the use of financial services, or how did that happen during the pandemic?
The direct answer is actually yes. We have noticed an explosion in the use of financial services. But then I'll set a background to that and say that financial services are actually aligned to the hierarchy of human needs. And in the pandemic period, we have seen this all the more. And there are two key areas that we have specifically targeted. And I would want just to talk through how we have targeted that and brought it up aligned to the human needs. One, in the pandemic period, we've seen the need more focused on basic needs: food, water, clothing, shelter, health, and rest. Secondary drivers have observably become three, one being security, entertainment, and investment. Then the rest of these follow, and maybe at some point I will reference Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, for successful mobile propositions, then we have seen that we must address these needs in that order. Okay, so, and I'll say in other words, for any organization to be successful, our product and service offering must be aligned in this order. So look at, for instance, our basic needs. Our payment platform has supported capabilities such as credit, where we are doing credit services, including but not limited to salary disbursement and other forms of bulk payments or disbursements on the phone, which means guys do not need to go back and maybe laborious queue or wait for physical money. We've also built capabilities for payment for goods and services, both online and offline. That is, you can pay while you are at the merchant shop, or you can pay through a long distance sort of payment. We've included lending services for financial empowerment, because of course, money at this point, like you said, is extremely important. Customers who need to lend some money for usage, that has been included. We've even included cross-border services such that you are able to make payments across the border. You're also able to engage on services like IMT, including very exciting services such as cash pickup. We have digitized cash pickup, where primarily someone would go, say, to an MTO and collect the money. All they need to do is get an alert on their phone, and we give them the parameters, and they pull that money from wherever it is, and we call it a digital cash pickup. We also said that sufficient rest is a basic need. So how have we catered to this? One is by continuous elimination of effort, because effort is repulsive. Yeah, we have continuously looked at options to reduce or eliminate customer effort, either in their daily interactions. Like I said, salary disbursement is now happening direct to your phone, or by eliminating efforts of using our products and services. Yeah. So to any business person who is logged in, allow me to reiterate that effort is repulsive. The more effort our organization requires to apply, or your organization requires to apply, the less customers will, the lesser you will notice your customer growth, the more churn you will experience, the more you'll struggle on revenue and profitability. And there are a number of, if I can just give 2-3 examples, some forms of effort exerting customer processes. One of them is requiring customers to fill forms, long tiring forms, new forms with every service, while we still have customer records that we collected a while back. Why not reuse them? We tell customers, bring copies of your ID, while we still have them in our stores. We tell them, bring additional copies of your passport photos, while we still have them in our store. We probably took them 6 months ago. Or requiring customers to visit shops or call us up instead of preemptively empowering the customer to address the need that would have required them to visit the shop. So will a customer split their time between visiting your shop or going to work or addressing the needs of children who need time or spending more time in traffic? So we reduce the effort and we see more customers engaging. Then one of the other things that we have seen, if I can talk a bit more to the area of some what I call secondary needs. Yeah, I mentioned 3 of them. On security, we have made available services such as mobile insurance. So on the phone, on the mobile phone, through your wallet, you're able to get things like health, personal, accident, and life insurance. On investment, we are now collaborating with financial institutions to grow financial inclusion on the mobile phone. So even the person who is unbanked can now have the bank on their wallet. Lastly, on entertainment, we are supporting things like gaming and e-commerce through exciting services such as the virtual card, where you convert your mobile money to virtual cash for e-commerce payments. Just imagine, for customers who don't have a debit or a credit card, all they need to have is their mobile money wallet, and on a click of a button, the wallet gives them the 16-digit number, the CVV number, the expiry date, and they can pay for Netflix or Amazon or shop on any e-commerce site at their will.
And they do.
Yeah.
They use, yeah.
Great, great. Of course, the last thing we've seen is that fraud is becoming a big issue with the growth of mobile money. It is affecting every factor, not only on mobile money, but also banking. I'm sure you've seen this on every area where there is an issue of money. What we've also seen is that fraudsters are initiating, are actually taking takeouts from other markets. So if you see something in a certain market, actually prepare for it because it's coming to your market. But I also see a lot of promise in the future, especially if we are to use AI. Why? Because fraud has a pattern. For example, we see that a number of fraudsters are in prison. We've seen that they're in prison sites, and somehow they access mobile phones and they spend the entire day spamming people. So if AI can give you those angles, that where is the location of this person? How many transactions are they doing in a certain time? What if you can pick all these patterns and throw them into your artificial intelligence engine, then you'll be able to save customers a lot of frustration because you just need to notify them that the number you are about to engage has suspicious activities. So yes, we have seen growth. With the growth has been opportunities, and the greatest learning has been those opportunities must be based on the basic human needs, then sequenced to follow to the secondary needs.
Very interesting, Daniel. Thank you. Hussam, let's talk about data growth. We all know that customers have higher and higher needs in terms of data, and especially because of the lockdown, we all have seen our network being really overloaded. And how do you see that moving forward? How can we have a good business model in order to sustain?
Okay, thanks, Isabel. I think it's a very interesting question, and I think it's a big area for growth, I think, for all the telecom providers. And we know that growing data business further is a clear opportunity, as I said. And we might imagine that, for example, in sub-Saharan Africa, mobile penetration is still below 50%, which shows a market potential really to increase data users and data consumption and to play a big part in the digital divide in a way or other. So in marketing, so I think more marketing activities are needed really to convert customer to become data users through simple, affordable, transparent data products to users. Also, we need really to think about how to design and promote effectively the device play to increase the smartphone penetration, which is quite low in Africa still. And this could be done through encouraging the smartphone ownership via win-win business model or partnership with device players. So the key opportunity also how we could push the data usage conversion from 2G to 3G and from 3G to 4G, which really has a very clear impact on the data revenue growth. So I can say there is a very notable new cases that could drive data growth further through a range of online services like online education, digital content we spoke about, telehealth care, which I think is this big area for growth, e-commerce, and definitely the e-government, which I think will enable task for us how we could smartly convert this big addressable market to pay more for this service, which they are using our network. So also, we know that there is a 4G deployment is across the globe. However, we say that also the 5G is gaining space, which create also new use cases that we are expecting. Maybe not recently in Africa, but overall. And definitely 5G will support clearly the evolution of the IoT, which will open more data opportunities and more use cases. For example, in future, we expect that connected cars, vehicle Wi-Fi hotspots, GPS tracking units. So all these opportunities, I think that will drive the data growth further and further, which I think that the consumption will really hit the roof. So to answer the second question, how really we could overcome the challenge and the barrier that really could holding us back in the promising data growth. I think number one is a very key element and big barrier, especially in Africa, the coverage gap. Still, there is so many customers. As per the last report, I can say that 1 out of 4 people in Africa is still not covered by any mobile broadband signal, which will require a massive job to extend this footprint and to maintain fast, reliable network, especially in the rural areas. Second issue that also really work as a barrier in Africa, specifically, is the lack of awareness of internet, especially in rural areas and all the age segments. Still, you can imagine, still there is people they don't know what internet is, and those who are aware about internet existence still they think that the internet is not relevant to them. This is something that they are not addressing their needs. So I think this also, we need to have worked a lot on this area, awareness, educational campaign, which is very, very important here. And the big barrier also is the lack of digital skills and the competence. And we need to make a roadmap with a collective effort across the stakeholders, the government, private sector, MNOs, how we could drive and build competence digitally really to help in the penetration. And one of the biggest also barrier that we should not forget about is affordability. So it's a critical barrier to mobile access. Still, smartphones are very expensive. It represents about 30% of the monthly income on average in Africa. Data prices very, very expensive. In some part of Africa, you'll find 1 GB costs more than $20, which I think the affordable 1 GB should not be more than 2% of the monthly income. But here we are averaging at 8% of monthly income in Africa. So driving affordability in smartphone and data prices really is a big area that we need to work on. The last area I think also mentioned by Clerk is security and safety, which is a big concern of many customers. They still get afraid about the use case of internet and how this connection is secure and how we will provide what they are looking for. So I can say that addressing all these issues collectively by all the stakeholders and the telecom ecosystem, I think we will go together to increase the internet penetration and overcome progressively the internet barriers.
Great. Richard, do you see Virgin mobile proposition when coming to Africa solving all these issues? How do you see specific challenges that we are experiencing in Africa?
Yeah, so certainly I think we can help fill some of the challenges. We run two brands. We're not all purely high-end digital. You know, we have another brand called Friendly Mobile. And this we use to cater to the large kind of expat blue collar segment in our region. And you know exactly what you know Hussam has been saying in terms of being able to come together with affordable, easy affordable solutions to drive adoption and simplicity of the experience. When we get that mix right, then again we see that kind of data surge as well. And some of the times that we do special promotions in Oman, for example, we just see that, gosh, customers can consume anything, any amount of gigabytes that we offer them. They will eat them up. But it's very linked to that kind of price elasticity. If you don't have that offer the next month, then it disappears. They come back to what they can afford and what they want to spend. So coming back to Africa, we are an MVNO, so we don't host our, we don't own our own networks. We rely on you guys actually to give us favorable terms to be able to go and hit the market. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The wholesale deal is quite critical to our success. But what we can bring, is we can bring that digital experience. And as I said before, it's a continuum. So if we want to understand how to package content, gaming, etc., I think it's on everybody's agenda. We have experience in that. And as I say, we're looking right now at kind of which markets we would like to go and enter into Africa. We have a different commercial model as well for this. Right today, we look for the MVNO regulation. It's a long process. It can be a long process. We sign up, we find a host, and then what we do is we invest into the market. The other approach that we have is to run a B brand model. And based on our successes across the GCC, we're getting calls from other operators who are looking to reuse our technology and our digital experience and fundamentally our platforms. So we are open to discussing how we can bring the technology in. We are open to seeing how we can provide kind of management and commercial support. And, not that it's my final decision, this is a Virgin in London who own the brand finally, we can look to see how we can bring the brand. So either with our own direct MVNO with our own license, or working in partnership as a B brand model to an actual host operator. And actually, my previous call was with one such operator in Africa earlier today.
Oh, great.
It's really interesting as well. So my last point is that in how you can meld that mobile and the MFS experience that the guys have been talking about, I think is when we look at digitizing and simplifying that experience, I think there's a lot for us to learn from how Africa has gone about that and has so much success on the mobile financial side as well.
Very good. Danielle, looking forward, moving post-pandemic, what are the key elements of the customer experience we should not miss? I mean, where do we have to improve absolutely so that we can carry forward?
For me, first and foremost is the digital angle. And as I promised, I'll talk a bit more again, how we have to relate this to human needs. The reason I say this is because I've seen many a times organizations come up with digital solutions, proudly so, but they remain unused. Yeah, you have a heavy investment on your digital platform, but it is not getting used. Some of the reasons is because of how smart we are or are not in matching up any solution, whether digital, physical, or service, to the human need. Like we said, the sequence must be that we start with the primary needs that I talked to, followed by the safety needs. And the third one that I'll talk about is love and belonging. In the customer experience space, of course, we call it personalization, because everywhere you feel that a service knows you, or everywhere you feel that you're known, then you want to come back for more experience. And we can do that with data. Fourth one is esteem, things like recognition. How is our digital platform actually bringing that out? And to my listeners, I'm saying, yes, it is possible to take these emotional angles and technically reproduce them on the digital space, which is something we can talk about more and more. And the last is self-actualization. Everyone has an epitomic need. Everyone has a need that they look up to, regardless of their status in life. And yes, we can use our digital spaces to drive this kind of self-actualization. So I would say go for a digital platform that connects with your customers and that it does easily so. Insights have it that smartphone penetration in Africa is about 35 to 40%, meaning that most customers are on feature phones. This means that our digital engagement must primarily be on USSD. Also, insights have it that Africans are highly relational. What does that mean? It means that human interaction matters. As such, consider humanizing your service, such as human-assisted AI for targeted customer segments. For customers on smartphone, design for convenience, not just reactively, but I will underpin proactively. For instance, you know the adage that says, if you don't talk to your customers, someone else will. Please note the responsibility of talking is business to customer, not customer to business. Our apps and bots are waiting for customers to talk to them. Our apps and bots are waiting for customers to go and access them. It should not be that. It should be the app and the bot probing me proactively, prescriptively, and preemptively to engage. What does that mean? It means if I require that effort to go to the bot, if I require that effort to go to the app, soon because maybe of space issues, I will remove that app and put something that is more exciting to me. Yeah, like we said, effort is repulsive. So how are you eliminating effort on digital barriers, such as things like device accessibility, affordability of devices so that we increase the smartphone penetration, things like space. How much does your digital offering require? The more space it requires, the lesser usage it will attract. Things like internet and pricing that have been talked about, things like content, size, and sequencing. For example, you cannot have a 10-minute video. That's too long, yeah? The cost of data for streaming a 10-minute video is already an issue. Again, our customers are struggling to watch entertainment videos that are 5 minutes long. How much more do you think they will watch a commercial video that is 10 minutes long? So that won't work. The research shows that the attention economy is now 3 to 7 seconds. 3 to 7 seconds. This means that as an organization, you have 3 to 7 seconds to capture your audience, to make them watch the next 3 to 7 seconds. Therefore, the trick is break down your 10-minute video into chunks of less than 10 or into chunks of less than 60 seconds. Then make sure every 3 to 7 seconds, attract your audience enough for them to watch the next sequence. Then the last part of the question, how do we stimulate customer demand for new services, a more personalized service? Human behavior on usage is driven by two things. One, need, and two, impulsion. You're either buying something because you need it or you're driven by impulse buying. To be a successful organization and make revenues, you must design for both. Even in telco, make those bundles either address a need or attract impulsive behavior. For example, give me a bundle to watch a soccer game. Yeah, I will buy it on the spot. The second thing, as I said, is reimagine our approaches, including the digital offering, from reactive to proactive. preemptive, and prescriptive. That means my digital solution should be able, firstly, to be proactive. That is, tell me what problem I'm about to come across. Secondly, be preemptive. Tell me when this problem is about to occur. Thirdly, be prescriptive. Empower me on how to address that problem. For example, if every month I am sending money to my folks and pay my domestic users, probably 4 domestic users, and sending money to 5 family members, that's a lot of effort. And if as soon as I see another competitor offering that gives me an easier way to do it, I will shift. But then using AI, you can preemptively, proactively, and prescriptively give me an answer to this. So imagine, for instance, the digital service tells me that we've noticed that in the last 2-3 months, you do ABCD towards the end of the month. Then it goes ahead to give me an option to do it on my behalf. And all it tells me is we can even freeze a certain amount on your wallet. All you need to do is give us the consent and we will proactively pay this for you. That's a wow service. In fact, if that happens, forget about me going to any competition, forget about me churning, forget about the customer, maybe retention going off the window. Effort has reduced, service personalization has increased, usage has increased. What else does a business want? So in summary, all I would say is, remember, effort is impulsive. Digital service sequencing must align to the hierarchy of needs. Usage is driven either by needs or impulsion. We need to reimagine our approach from reactive to proactive, preemptive, and prescriptive. And lastly, the job of talking to customers is business to customer led, not the other way around, even on our digital spaces.
Thank you, Daniel. Claire, would you have some final words on innovation moving forward?
Okay, and I try to be efficient and to say that in a few words, the digital AAA is not only a motto, it's what we believe in by innovation. What we've launched is that we have a specific team. And if I have just to say 2 words about this innovation team, it's about how to be agile and frugal. And it's about that, meaning that if we succeed in being agile and frugal, then it's mean that we are listening to our customers, we are helping them to feel unique, and then we will retain them. So it's about that. It's about how to be efficient in the way we are listening their expectations and that we are delivering just quick and efficiently, just like this. That's all.
Very good. Thank you very much to all panelists. We will remember to be very efficient so that we can provide cost-efficient proposition to our customer and minimize to the maximum the efforts they have to do in order to actually use our services. Thank you all. Digital as an answer.
Thank you very much to all our panelists. Thank you for an exciting discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for our final session of the day. Thank you.